Hello and welcome to Magzie's Fun Time. This is Magzie, and we are here on Dungeons and Dragons Online. I have to do this on Winded Mode. I already made an episode and it didn't show, so I'm going to try to remake the episode, and I'm going to go a little bit faster than I did before. So sorry if this is not as in-depth as I wanted it before. Excuse me. I will show you guys all the information, and I will let you be able to read, pause the video and read, but my voice is kind of going out on me, so I need to get this done for you guys. There are in-game currency that you can use to unlock stuff. In order to do that, you could go here, or you can go online and buy it at the website, and then do your stuff there. There's also more different campaigns that you can actually go to, so be mindful of that. I don't own any of that stuff. This is a fresh account that I play on for giggles. I do have another account that I have stuff unlocked on that I've actually paid money for. So, but this one's just for you guys. So, I have played on it a little bit. So we're going to go to create. You have 4 different styles of play. Now, to get this one straight off the bat is iconic. It will let you start a character that's higher level character with custom gear and abilities and stuff. However, if we go to next here, as you can see, each one of these are premium purchases, and I will click on each one of these so you can get a basic feel of what they are. Okay, so you can pause the video and read that. Alright, we won't be talking about these. The 3 that you need to worry about are these 3. Okay, melee, spells, and specialist. Alright, so melee is melee characters engage in up-close combat and hand-to-hand combat. Choose this style if you want to attack with weapons instead of magic. Now, as a note, there is 2 different ranged builds for like bows and crossbows. Alright, and of the crossbows, there's also 2 different crossbow builds. Alright, if you're going to go with a bow, you want to go with ranger, because rangers get a bow strength ability that lets them add their strength bonus onto their bow attacks. Alright, that being said, if you're going to go crossbow build, regular crossbows, alright, I'm not talking about the repeating crossbow. Regular crossbow builds, there are 2 specs. One is a fighter build, and the other one is a rogue build. And I believe you want to go with the mechanical alchemist, whatever it's called, because they get the great crossbow special feat that allows them to use great crossbow without having a negative on it. Alright, be mindful of that. Those are exceptions to the general rule for this being melee. Alright, there are a couple of builds that will allow you to be ranged as a melee class. Okay, those are not something you want to worry about right now if you're just starting out in this and you have never played Dungeons & Dragons Online. Second note, Dungeons & Dragons Online does use, for the most part, 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons rule set, and they have modified those rules for online purposes. You can go online and look at the changes. I will probably post that in a link down below, along with the link to Dungeons & Dragons Online and a link to the wiki. Alright, and on the wiki will be the link to the changes will be on the wiki as well. But I'm going to post it to the wiki, specifically that page, because I want you guys to be able to read. If you've played 3.5 and you want to come on here and try it out, there are slight changes from the 3.5 rule set for the online. Right? One of the main ones is that each level is broken up into a 5-tier system, and each tier you get a like a skill trait point that you can spend to give yourself special abilities and stuff. So be mindful of that. There's also specializations that you can go, and they'll give you special benefits as well. Also, each race has a skill set, not a skill set, but a a trait system too. So you have 3 or more different specializations that you can go that have their own traits that you can spend points on, or you can go with your racial traits that you can spend points on. So be aware of that is in the game. Now, before I went through each one of these and read off the special abilities and stuff, I'm just going to go with an overview this time just to kind of speed this up. With melee, there are fighters, barbarians, paladins that you start out with from the start, and then you can go online. If you want to start out with this at the beginning, this is the only note I'll show. Anything that's like that has this little bonus feature in it, if you want to start out with that at the beginning, you will need to go online and spend money, real life money, for the game. If you do that, you will gain extra benefits in the game for actually spending actual money on the game. Okay? That aside, you can gain the currency in game also. So, as you play a class and level it up and gain rep with people, you will gain currency as you do that. Okay? So you can just build up and buy it in game without ever actually spending any money whatsoever. Okay? Notes out there. Okay, so these 3 are the ones you're going to have choice from straight off the bat, unless you spend money. Alright? And that is fighters, which I will let you read this. They are soloing ability is good. They can use all armors and shield types. They do gain bonus feats every so often. And they have a large variety of fighting styles. You can customize them to any kind of fighting thing that you want. Starting stats, you want a higher strength and a higher constitution. Notable abilities are Sunder, Tower, Shield, Proficiency. Alright, now it shows you what that does. That shows you what that does. Kind of notes that I tell everybody. Skill specific class, you never want to go below 10. 10 will give you a 0 on your modifier, so you won't lose skill points. Alright. For fighters, it doesn't really matter that much. I don't like to have negatives, so my build will probably be involving 0 negatives as possible. Alright, which means I'll have at least a 10 on just about everything. Alright. Also, charisma measures. You look through all this stuff on here. Also, it affects a skill that actually affects in-game amounts on the stores. So just be aware of that. Go back to general. Paladins possess incredible strength and offensive power. I'm not reading all this. I keep forgetting. Their solo ability is really, really good. They do go into a battle rage and they can absorb damage. And basically, they tap into a raw rage, fury, that boosts their strength and constitution, but lowers their defense. All right. Also, after a certain time, this will go away, and you'll get like a debuff on you for a certain amount of time, where you have to recover your strength back. They also can gain a damage reduction ability, but they can't use heavy armor. So, you want basically strength, dexterity, constitution. End of story. And this will tell you the reasons why you said that. And a notable ability is rage, which there tells you basically exactly what it does. So there you go. Paladins. Paladins are kind of like a fighter that can heal. Alright? They don't have the versatility of weapons that a fighter does, but they can cast magic and they can cast support spells on your allies. They get special abilities. They can do extra damage to evil creatures, bonus to boost saves. They can use a heal ability to powerful healing to allies. At 4th level, they will be able to get their first spells that they can use to aid the parties. They do get a few immunities like disease, fear, radiant, protective, auras, that kind of stuff, which helps nearby allies. Basically, this class is one of those where you need high abilities on everything, so you can't like stick an 18. This one does run with the actual skill ability points method, where you have a pool of ability points that you can spend on the different abilities, and the more you increase it, the more it costs. Okay, so anything above 14 on this will cost you 2 or more points to get. Okay, now if some race that you have gives you a -2, you can only go up to 12 instead of 14. Okay, just throw that out there. They do need high strength and charisma. Charisma is the stat they use for their spellcasting, I believe. No, wisdom is what they use for the spellcasting. Charisma lets them gain bonuses for some of their special abilities and makes them more powerful. Notable abilities is my evil, which is right there, and lay on hands, which is right there. Again, using healing on a dead creature like undead will actually damage them instead of healing them. Just remember that. Monk, I will show you Monk. Monk basically is an unarmed build. In this game they use wraps instead of just using your fist, and those will have magical effects on them. So they are really, really powerful. It's one of the starting classes you probably want to go ahead and unlock. They have the ability to use Wisdom's modifier onto their armor class, which is pretty powerful. They can do more damage with their fist unarmed strikes. They gain really powerful specialization bonuses. You do want high strength and dexterity and wisdom scores. It doesn't say that on here, but that's what you want. And high wisdom bonus also will amplify some of their special attacks, so be mindful of that. Notable abilities is stunning fist and deflect arrows. So we will go back. Spells. 3 you start out with is Sorcerer, Cleric, and Wizard. Now these, I will show you these. Wields Divine Magic to heal and destroy, but they have fewer spells than Clerics. Kind of like a Sorcerer version of Cleric. Druids, one of the best spellcasters in 3.5 version, and they had one of the most powerful first level spell in the game, on paper, not like in the online game. I don't even know if it's actually in the online game because I haven't ever unlocked Druid. I think my wife unlocked Druid on her account. They shape change though. They can shape change and they gain divine spells, kind of like Cleric. Their spellcasting works kind of like Cleric's does, where they get all the spells for the first level, and then you can switch them out at the shrines and stuff. They do have a good solo ability. Oh, I'm not going into all these now. I keep forgetting that. So I'm just going to show you the stats stuff, and you guys can look at that. If you want to buy these, be more than welcome to spend currency on that. You can go in the game and play and then buy them later if you want. Warlock is something that they added from probably 4.0 and backdrafted it to 3.5. It wasn't in the original 3.5 versions that I know of, unless it was in like a special off book that you could buy to enhance your game. But you know, it's there. It's the kind of thing you want to do. That's the stats for it. We're going to look at Sorcerer. Now, Sorcerer and Wizard are basically the same thing. The only difference is Sorcerers can cast fewer spells, but they cast them faster and more often, which means they'll do slightly higher DPS, but they're less versatile than wizards. Also, they cannot change their spells once you pick it. So once you pick it, you're basically stuck with it, or you have to do some kind of special ritual to switch your spells out. So be mindful of that. Definitely go over the spells really, really careful if you're going sorcerer. Make sure you pick the right ones, or you're basically going to be re-rolling your character. Solo ability is challenging. They do have the innate ability to cast spells without needing academic training like wizards. They can perform a fixed number of spells, but they can cast them faster and do more damage. They also, them and favored souls will get bonus spell points that other classes will not get, and also they'll gain more spell points from actual magical items. Spell points is kind of like mana. They use that to cast their spells with. Again, I just told you, they don't switch their spells. They have to go special ritual every few days to switch their spells out. Charisma is the most important stat for sorcerers. High charisma. Constitution's another good one. Also, you want dexterity. I don't know why it's. I don't know why they didn't put it on here, but dexterity is one of the stats you really want. They went with the higher charisma here. So it took them 3 points for the 17 and 3 points for 18. It's just 6 points they could have used elsewhere. So you could make this 16 and then put this right here as a 14, or you can make this 12 and then get yourself a little bit of intelligence. You never want to leave your intelligence as a negative, even if you don't use an intelligence like wizards use it. You do still have skills that you're going to get negative points for on this. So be mindful of that. Also, the special ability, empower spell, maximize spell. That's not notable abilities. It's like special feats that they can get and use. Cleric is the healer. Now, this is not priest. Do not confuse clerics with priests. Two completely different classes here. All right. Priest is something they added into like other MMOs. I don't know of an actual MMO that actually has like a cleric class in it. They are divine spellcasters. They do get all their spells at first level, and then they can switch them out whenever they want to at this rest shrines or inside taverns. They are very good at soloing. It's one of the best starting things to go is cleric, and just go through the game. You heal yourself, then beat the snot out of your enemies. They do have the ability to turn undead and assist allies. They do wear armor, and they can use shields, which gains them a better protection than other casters. And as I said, they can switch their spells at shrines to address their problems. Now, they gain all of them. It's not like wizards where you have to pick a certain amount. The most important stat is wisdom. They do need a little bit of charisma, though, because some of their spells and divine abilities actually use charisma, like the turn undead, which I will show you here. And if you roll high enough on these, you can just outright destroy undead instead of turning them. Also, remember, healing spells damage undead instead of healing them, so you can use those as attack spells on undead too. Wizards. Wizards can learn a huge variety of spells and can fine-tune their spellcasting list to a task. They can assist the party, summon, destroy enemies with the power elements. They can do control stuff where they control the flow of battle. Very versatile. Solo ability of these is challenging. Wizards are the only class that can learn all the arcane spells. Okay, eventually they can get them all. Unlike others, they do gain bonus meta magic feats as they level. That can help them manipulate their spells and that kind of stuff. At the taverns and restaurants, they can switch their spells out to be more versatile, what situation they need, unlike sorcerers and favored that can't do that. Intelligence is the most important stat. Again, right here they have an 18 here. You can get an 18 without. You're not going to need an 18 at the very start of the game unless you want the maximum amount of these difficulty class for saving throws and stuff. You can get the same DC without maximizing that. It's 6 points you can spend in other places. So if you want 6 points, and definitely here, you'll see when I roll my character. But I'm not going to put this right here is actually 4 more points for 2 points. So they moved from 14 to 16, and they use 4 points to do that. Okay, and if you're elf, you just use 6 points to do that. So, but definitely the higher level spells, you'll need 18 to cast the highest level spells. So you do need a high intelligence, but you can get that by progressing through levels rather than doing it all at the start. So be mindful of that. Oh, sorry, I just hit my mic. Constitution is important for wizards who want to increase their hit points, definitely. And dexterity is important because you increase your defense. Now, you can't wear armor and you can't use shields. And this guy also has no dexterity score, so he basically has a negative armor class. Not what you want. You want some defense. So don't leave a negative on your dexterity, even though this says to do that. Constitution is important. I already read that. And inscribed scroll, they can take scrolls and destroy the scroll, and then they gain that spell permanently on their list, which they can cast. So there you go. And the last one is specialist. As a note, rangers, as I said before, rangers do get a special bow feat that lets them add their strength bonus into their bow attacks. So if you're going to go ranged combat and you're going to go with a bow, make sure you go ranger. I said it. They're extremely versatile. They can scout, they can wield 2 weapons, and they can be lethal with a bow. They have good soloing ability. They also, at level 4, will gain some spells, so be mindful of that. And I'm going to let you read all this stuff here. Very, very good. They can gain some powerful bow abilities as well as 2 weapon fighting abilities. You do basically want high stats on just about everything, so you're going to have to... in the actual game, you did want some charisma too, because you needed to roll skill checks to do stuff with your pet. Okay? Mindful. If you wanted to do stuff with animals, you didn't want a little bit of charisma, but I don't know if that's in this actual online version or not. Special noted abilities are wisdom. Also, they need the wisdom score for their highest level of spellcasting is from your wisdom score. So you do want at least a 14. Favorite enemy, which gives you a bonus to attack or damage, I believe. There you go. And 2 weapon fighting. Rogues, they use stealth and variety of masterful techniques to disarm traps, unlock doors, take down enemies, devastating sneak attacks. They are challenging soloing. They are the only class that I know of, besides maybe Artificer, that can actually unlock doors. Unlike 3.5 version of the rules, you cannot learn unlock pick locks. You can't not learn that. You have to be a rogue in order to unlock locks. So Mindful of that. Cannot get it. Unless you're a rogue, you can't do it. And remember, there are a few exceptions to that rule, but in general, that's the way it goes. They are better at finding secret doors, traps, disabling traps, picking locks to gain access to special areas nobody else can gain access to. Powerful abilities called sneak attacks with proper skill and strategy can be devastating. You can also combine this with your stealth ability to really mess up people. So basically, again, you want high. You don't want any negatives here. The only negative you probably will want is on charisma, and if you are going with using special magical items, you won't want a lower charisma either. Okay, but you do want dexterity and intelligence because you're a skill-based class. Skill-based classes need higher intelligence for more skill points. And you will want high wisdom here because of your disabled device and search checks and stuff like that. We'll run off of those abilities. I'll run off of that stat. That's about it. Notable abilities: disabled device, open locks, and Bard here. Bard is more for group play. So unless you're going to be going around adventuring with your friends, I would suggest, even at the beginning, if you're going to run around with your friends, I would not suggest you go with Bard. Play other classes, get a feel for the game, come back. It's more for expert players. Alright? Using spells, skills, powerful magical songs, you can boost and support characters. You can strengthen your allies and weaken foes at the same time. They do gain some spells, so they do have more spell points than other melee and specialist classes. Special blend of abilities, and it's one of those classes where there's not a stat you can really go low on. You want high charisma because most of your stuff is going to be done with your charisma score. Alright? So it's going to give you spell points. It's going to all your songs and stuff are going to run off of it. So the highest stat you're probably going to want to be on your charisma. So there you go. And the Artificer, I'm going to show you that one. You guys can read it on yourselves. It's a good one. They do have a special little creature that they can summon. Also, Artificers is one of the best classes to go with the repeating crossbow build because they can summon their own crossbow bolts. Okay. Also, another plus for ranger builds is rangers can have a spec that can summon their own arrows, so you don't have to buy them. This game does use arrows. You do have to buy arrows. If you have a thrown weapon, you do have to buy thrown weapons. So it's an ammunition type thing. So you get, like, if you buy 100, you use 100, and then you have to buy more. So just be mindful of that. Once you pick a class, we're going to go back to here. We're going to go back to spellcasting. I'm going to show you this on Wizard. Once you pick a class, it's going to take you to a path. Now, if you're starting out in this game, you want to pick one of these three. Just pick through it, read the different ones. Again, it'll tell you, like necromancy, definitely experts only. So, but look at different things and use one of these. I will be using this. So, because I know exactly what I want and how to think. This is only for advanced players, so don't start out with customized. You can change that later. If you're going through the game and you feel like it's picking something and you think something else will be more beneficial to you, or if you're using a setup on like a build specific thing on like on the wiki, and it says to use this specific pre-built thing, but at this specific point, choose this instead of that, then you go do that. Okay, you can shut that off at any time and just pick whatever you want. But we will be going with this just so I can look at races. So these 4 here are the special ones you can only buy with the currency. So I'm gonna click on those just to show them off to you. You guys can pause the video and read the benefits of these. Then we have half elf. There you go. Drew, if you're going to go with Spellcaster for a long extended period of time, it might be good to unlock the Drew Elf first, because Drew Elves actually gain a bonus starting dexterity, intelligence, and charisma, which boost just about any kind of spellcaster. So very good to start with that. And they do get a bonus spell resist. I just want to throw that out there. If you're going with a melee oriented class, let me make sure I show all of these here. If you're going with a melee generated class, you might want to go and unlock Orc if you generally play the melee game, because they do get a higher strength bonus. They do get a lower intelligence and charisma score, but they do start out with higher strength. So might be something you want to look into. You have to go in game, so that's why I'm posting the wiki. You guys can go on the wiki and look up all these races and look up their special traits that you can get in game with your leveling points that you get. So definitely go on there and check those out before you decide what kind of character you want to roll. The 4 you have to choose from at the start without spending any money is human. They are very versatile and they gain a bonus feat, but they don't gain any special bonus to their ability scores. That being said, they don't gain any negatives to their ability scores either. So, but they do get a bonus feat and they do get more skill points to use on their skills. Elves here, they do get a higher dexterity score but a lower constitution score. These are their strengths. They all do have keen senses and it allows them to spot hidden doors easier. So rogue might be better off doing this. The slightly lower hit points though, because they have a lower constitution score. And they do gain the proficiency for long sword, reaper, longbow, and shortbow. No matter which class you choose from, you have the ability to use those. They are immune to sleep, have enchantment bonus, and they're +2 listen, spot, and search checks. We have halfling. Halflings are very agile but are small and not as strong as other classes. I like halflings for spellcasters, especially because they get a bonus to dexterity. They do have lower strength. When you get a spellcaster, you don't really have to worry about strength, so yeah, whatever. They gain a luck bonus to their saves. They get a defensive bonus because they're small. They get bonuses to jump, move silently skills. They get bonuses to all your thrown weapons, but they do have slightly lower strength. And also, this is the stuff they get: luck, agility, size bonus, thrown weapons, focus, all that kind of stuff. And last but not least, dwarves. They are tough and hardy, but not very charismatic. So they're slightly uglier than the other races, which is kind of bad to say. They are naturally resistant to some forms of magic and more stable on their feet. So, dwarves start out with a higher constitution score but a lower charisma score because they're slightly uglier than everybody else. Their strengths are they're resistant to poisons and many enemy spells, various bonuses to fighting certain types of creatures, harder to trip and knock down other races, but they are slightly uglier. They gain all these abilities, spell save bonus. And that is going to do it to start out with, guys. I'm going to cut the video here. I am having to play this in winded mode, so I'm sorry about that, guys. It will not record any of the video in game capture. and I'm having trouble with monitor capture on MMOs. So I'm sticking with the window capture because it actually captures. So that's what I'm happy with. If you have spec or build ideas, put them in the comments down below. If you have links to websites or builds that you want me to try, send them in an email or PM me, and I will look at them. Do not post those links in the comments down below. Please don't do that. I will put links to the wiki and to Dungeons & Dragons online website in the comments down below. Also, there was something else that I was going to put down there. I can't remember what it is. I will, if I remember, I'll put that down there too. If you like this episode, make sure you smack that like button. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll send you notifications when I have new videos out. You can come check it out, see if you like them. If you do like this episode, you want to try it with your friends, share it with your friends. Tell me what you liked it. There's a share tab down below. Click on the share tab, copy the link, post it on your Facebook, Twitter, wherever you do social media. And I will see you guys on the next episode.